We are looking at Eli's butterfly under the water. Commentary by Coach Chris. Now, we talked about his recovery and we talked about his head position on the above water video. Here we're going to talk about the timing of the kick, because when we're starting to develop solid fundamentals in the fly, the first things I try to make sure the kids get is the kick timing and the timing of the head and the arms. Once we get those two things together, it becomes very easy to solve and to improve a lot of the other aspects of the butterfly. So I kind of wait and get those things out of the way before we start talking about some of the really fine details. And actually, a lot of the fine details, Eli actually does well. It's just some of these major timing things that we got to get cleared up. Now for the kick, we're going to watch him. Let's play it through once so we can see his butterfly underwater. And that's real speed. Now, he's got some solid fundamentals with the pull, and there's not a lot I like to change about it except for maybe finishing out the back. And at his level of development, I think he's doing a fantastic job with the pull. But it's timing, and we talk about the kick timing a lot in our group, and we need to keep working on it. And a lot of the boys have the same timing problem, so Eli is not alone, and we do a lot of drills trying to address this. I mean, that pull path right there is really good. You can see a little bit how he flares out instead of back. See how his hands travel out towards the sides? He needs to push a little more straight back, tighter into the body, straight back behind him, and get in that Michael Phelps recovery position. And that's important, and we talked about that on the above water video as an aside, because it gives him a little more time to finish that breath. The sooner he starts that recovery, the less time he has to breathe, which is, again, when we talked in the above water video, the head has to lead the hands at all times in butterfly. The head initiates all movement of the hands. So the head has to come up as the hands pull, the head has to go down before the hands recover. That's basically how you control your butterfly. And here we'll see, again, linked to the above water video, you can see this really steep downward thrust of the arms. You won't see that in a lot of high-end butterflies, and the reason you won't see it is because they're getting their head down. He has to throw his hands down like that because his hands are underneath his head. He can reach out and across if he gets his head down and be moving more forward with the hands, which is the preferred position. But let's talk about his kick, because that's the main thing that we're trying to work on and get coordinated. So here his hands are entering, and he has one kick. Okay, that's the first kick. Butterfly's a two-kick stroke, two-beat stroke on the kick. So you have one kick at the front when the hands enter, and one kick at the middle and back on the back half of the pull as you finish the pull. Eli's about to do what a lot of the boys do in the group, and that is he's going to kick once at the front, and then kick a second time at the front, and then initiate his pull. So let's frame back just a little bit, because we're going to get a good look at this. Just like a lot of the other boys, he does this every single stroke. So here his hands are coming in. Kick one, right there, and kick two, and he's initiating the pull. And that is the major problem, because efficient butterfly is a two-beat kick. Once at the beginning, and then once at the end of the stroke. But he's kicking once as his hands enter, pausing, once as he initiates his pull. This second kick right here needs to happen when his hands are here finishing the back of the stroke and pushing him forward. That point here, this point here is when he should be driving that second kick. From about this frame to this frame is when that second kick should happen. Right here, He should be starting that second kick. But as you can see, his feet aren't doing anything. And this is another reason why he tries to go so far up and he keeps his head up. He's got nothing driving him forward. Once he finishes this pull, there is no motion pushing water, no part of him pushing water to help him move forward. For an efficient butterflyer, they're driving their kick at this moment, that second kick, so it's further helping push them across the water. Through all these frames, there is nothing driving Eli forward. He's just floating. And so we need to make sure that we get those kicks separated. Again, here's where he actually returns to the proper pattern. So he's starting off right. Hands enter and kick, boom, that's good. Now a pause, and the second kick in the wrong position, and the pull. And then where the second kick should be, right here, nothing. So we have to get that second kick to the back of the stroke. First kick should be here. Second kick should be here. When he's pushing right here is where we start driving that second kick down. That was a real good frame right there, so we're going to go back through it. So, just a little further back. First kick, correct. And second kick should begin right here at the back. And it is just so important that we get those two things right. If we get the timing of the breathing and the recovery of the arms down, and we get that second kick down in the right spot at the back of the stroke, it is going to make butterflies so much faster and easier for him to do. With a lot of the fundamentals he's got a solid butterfly, but you cannot generate speed if your head's in the wrong position and your kick's at the wrong time. So we have to make sure we get these two pieces to click. So that's his major focus right now on his butterfly. And it's something we've been talking about for a while now, is we just got to keep focused on the timing of the head and the kick. Luckily, a lot of the boys in the group and even some of the girls have this same error as far as the kick goes and the head position goes. So almost all of our drills are designed to help give them a feel for what they're trying to do correctly. We do a lot of one-arm butterfly drill. And the goal of the one-arm, single-arm butterfly drill, when you're just doing the one arm, is to focus on the timing of the kick. That's the primary use of that drill, and we do it a lot in this group. And we'll continue to do it as we go through the summer. Whenever you do one-arm butterfly drill, you're focusing on the timing of the kick. Now the other drill that Eli knows we do a lot of, that he can focus on when he's trying to get his butterfly ready for a race or whatever, or in practice, is the single arm, double arm, or the two left, two right, two both, or any variation of a single arm stroke with a double arm stroke. Any variation of that, the focus is more the timing of the head. So we do single arm only drills for the timing of the kick. We do the single double combination drills to focus on the timing of the head and getting the head down and getting out of the way of that arm stroke. So those are two drills that might help a lot as far as if he focuses on the right thing during those drills, and we try to point them in that direction, that'll help him kind of dial this stuff in. Now to turn, we can see he's pulling himself up. Want to keep those shoulders in the water. Okay, the goal for a turn, a solid open turn, is to make sure that we just, instead of coming up and into the wall, that we just bring the feet underneath. Don't have to do anything with the upper body. And again, we talk about streamlining all the time, and this is just something Eli's going to have to adjust to as well. We got to get the head down. Eyes are forward, head is up, streamline is separated or in the Superman position, arms are bent and relaxed. this is a horrible streamline. We do streamline stuff all the time. We just have to appreciate that the streamline is the most important technique that a swimmer of this day and age can master. We have to get the head down. We have to get the eyes down on the bottom of the pool. We have to get the head on the back of the head. We'll see this back of the head right here behind his ear. That's what the bicep right there. That's what the bicep of his arm should be pressed firmly against as he lengthens out that streamline and gets as long and tight as he can. So this is something that a lot of the boys tend to do. Again, we just have to just do it. I mean, there's no other way around it. The problem with the streamlining really is just they just don't want to do it. And it's hard to convince them why it's so important because they really don't see, they haven't really grasped yet what the difference is between efficient swimming and inefficient swimming. You know, they're much more efficient than they probably were a year ago, 6 months ago, and yet they have no idea what truly efficient swimming feels like or truly efficient streamlining feels like. And they really have no concept of what an improvement it'll make. It's hard to imagine doing nothing but streamlining is the fastest you move in the water and the most efficient way you move through the water. It's hard to imagine that being able to streamline well gives you a half body length to a body length advantage every turn on somebody who streamlines like this frame right here. The kids just have trouble grasping that something so small of a detail, so simple of a detail, has that big of an impact. And so you kind of have to wait for them to mature to the point where they're going to do that. So this sort of streamlining is very, very common when working with kids. And it's just, you know, until they realize what a difference it makes, it's very, very hard to get them to do it on a consistent basis. We talk about it all the time. We do drills and underwaters all the time. And really for this group, my goals with Eli is just get him comfortable underwater and get him a little bit more consistent with these streamlines. But this is a really, really, really important thing. You can see he never once locks in a streamline. He gets his head down, but too late. And now we're up swimming. So outside of just some of the timing issues of the fly, I'm looking at his stroke itself, and it's actually really, really good. His pull path is solid for his level of development. His recovery, his sweep recovery, straight arm, he doesn't chop the stroke over like most kids his age do. So really for Eli, the biggest thing is to get the timing down of the kick and the head position and try and get everything coordinated. If he just fixes those timing issues, his butterfly is really going to take off, and he's going to notice it becomes a whole lot easier to swim. Excellent job, Eli, and I will see you at practice tonight.